Now listen, guys, I'm just going to try to keep it real in this video. Listen, I like a good massage. I didn't know the value and the pleasure involved in a good massage, and I'm talking about a massage that's on the up and up. My mom took me to get a massage when I was like 12 or something, and then I didn't get a massage for like another 30 years. Maybe like something. It was a really long time till me and my wife went on our honeymoon. We went to Woodlock in the Poconos, and we signed up for a massage while we were there, and they put they just did a lot of stuff, all types of stuff on you, and sand, and scrubbed your skin, exfoliated your skin. It was amazing. It was amazing, and everything was on the up and up. And yes, I was draped in a towel. I was completely naked. But the way they got you naked was like they left the room, you undressed, they came in the room, you were ready. And then, I mean, it was just, I couldn't imagine, like, trying to do something with that lady or something. I would have felt like I'd have felt weird trying to, turn that into some kind of Brazzers scene, like our friend Deshaun Watson. I said this, I think, what Deshaun Watson did was wrong, and we'll find out if it's criminal, but at the very least, our boy is a creep. He watches too much Brazzers. Okay, Brazzers, if you don't know, is an adult film channel. It's a series. It's based on like regular settings. A lot of adult films are like that, but this particular one is based off like just normal settings. Like you go to the doctor to get a checkup, and things turn into that, or you get a pizza delivered, and the delivery girl, you don't give her, you something wrong with the pizza, and she comes in and straightens it out. Just all types of like, or the daughter has her boyfriend over and her for dinner, and the mom's like some busty model with a slim waist and a big butt, and the mom and the boyfriend creep off into the corner and get it on, or under the table while the family's sitting at the table eating. It's all fantasy. And if you watch too much of that, you could think that if you go get a massage, that the woman giving you a massage, you could somehow convince her to take it to the next level. And if you do that, she better be with it. Because if she's not with it, you in trouble, Jack.
Deshaun Watson case. The Houston Police Department now saying they are now investigating a complaint.
The Texans quarterback now the target of 21 lawsuits. They accuse him of various misconduct. KPRC2's Bill Barajas live at police headquarters with the latest. Bill.
Well, news of that report being filed came down just about 40 minutes ago. The Houston Police Department did release a statement. In that statement, they did not say much, just that the report filed involved the Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, and that they were investigating but would not comment further. Now, right now, Watson is facing 21 civil assault lawsuits involving masseuses. The allegations stemming back to March 30th, 2020. The attorney for those women, Tony Busby, had previously said he would be providing evidence to the Houston Police Department on behalf of his clients. It's unclear if this most recent case is separate from the 21 women Busby represents or a new accuser. And now, in a newly released statement, Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, responded to HPD's investigation, saying, "We welcome this long overdue development. Now we will learn the identity of at least one accuser. We will fully cooperate with the Houston Police Department. Again, it is not clear if this is a new accuser or part of the 21 women that Tony Busby represents. We have reached out to Tony Busby, but have not heard back as of the news time just yet. Live in downtown Bill Barajas, KPRC 2 News.
And here's former adult film legend Mia Khalifa, who I never got into. I never fapped to Mia Khalifa. She just wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't get it. I tried to get it, but I didn't get it. But a lot of ball players, a lot of celebrities were like on her. She was like the greatest thing to them. I didn't get it. I tried too. I tried. Just wasn't my cup of tea. She never took me there. But this is Deshaun Watson and her at the crib a few years ago, and he uploaded this on the internet. Which, listen, he's not the only guy who publicly lusted or publicly outed for flying her in, or publicly outed themselves for flying her in and spending, some quality time with her. Does this make him a bad person? But what it does, it further lends credibility to my theory that he watches too much Brazzers. Okay? He just watches too much Brazzers, man. And what he should have done is done the role play thing. When you're a quarterback for a professional team, a superstar, you make more in endorsements than a lot of guys in the NFL make in their careers in 1 year. Like, for instance, Deshaun Watson's endorsement check for this year, probably like $10 million. And he's not like a big, he's not like Aaron Rodgers, discount double check or anything like that. He doesn't have all that. But he has, some commercials. And he doesn't even have to spend his game checks. So the fact that he was not just scrolling through Instagram and finding IG models and just being like, yo, the plane tickets at the desk, at the checkout counter. Go to the airport and go to the counter and your tickets, and then there'll be a guy waiting for you when you get to Houston to bring you to my house, and we're gonna do some role playing. You're gonna be the masseuse and I'm gonna be the massagee. We're gonna set it up. I'm gonna, come in like I don't know you. You're gonna have you're gonna change your appearance. You're gonna have glasses, your hair tied up. You're gonna have on scrubs, and you're gonna, treat me very professionally and cold when I come in. And then, once you give me the massage, we're gonna start laughing and joking and flirting, and then, boom, 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 chicka, boom, boom. But I don't think that was enough for him. And this is where it changes. Where, since he needed to, really do that, which makes it sort of predatory. When you really need to, you have to, it's not enough for role play. It's got to be a organic situation. Because his lawyer came out the other day and said, Deshaun, me and Deshaun have compiled a list of 18 additional massage therapists willing to come forward and say that they gave him massages and he was a perfect gentleman. And they thought that was gonna make him look good. But all that did was basically double the number of massage therapists he'd interacted with. The 22, including the 21 who accuses, and the one, it's the Sports Illustrated article that wants to remain anonymous. That was a lot of massage therapists to deal with, brother. I mean, like, God, dog. Like, how many barbers do Deshaun got? If he don't got 40 barbers, something's up. Now, if he got 40 barbers, that's what the Tony Buzz, I mean, that's what, his lawyer should have did. That's what his lawyer should have brought out. Look, man, Deshaun is. We found 40 barbers. Deshaun got 40 barbers. And he got 40 different landscaping crews that do his lawn. And he used 40 different house cleaning services over the past few years. Deshaun has a mental condition where he doesn't like being around the same people over. He's addicted to variety. He has varietitis. Variitis. Deshaun has variitis. He's addicted to variety. I mean, football players, they got to wear suits to the game when they come into the game. He got 40 tailors. That would have been a better defense than just introducing 18 more women to the situation. Like, God, dog, this brother dealt with 40 different, and that's so far that we know, because if there's 40 that we know of, it's 80. You have to know that in life. If you caught your wife cheating with two guys, she done cheated with 20. Okay? The number's always bigger than what you know about. Okay? The number's always bigger. It's not just that. The ones you get caught for. Or the ones you expose for. It's always bigger. Okay? So, this brother got 40 massage therapists he's been dealing with. Like, that is crazy.
Up first, new developments in the accusations against Deshaun Watson. A criminal investigation has been opened into the star quarterback.
And another lawsuit is set to be filed accusing Watson of sexual harassment during a private massage session, bringing the total number of lawsuits to 22. Grace White getting legal insight tonight into what a criminal investigation will mean for Watson. Grace?
Up until today, HPD says they had nothing to investigate. They had not received a complaint or evidence on Watson, but that changed today. In a case that's played out on social media, Houston police chose to tweet the latest development. Today, the department received its first criminal complaint against Deshaun Watson.
Well, make no mistake, today things change. This case is no longer about money. Now it's going to be about truth.
KHOU 11 legal analyst Carmen Rowe says expect to see law enforcement drilling down on the facts.
And they're not interested in a payday. They're interested in finding out if there's victims out there.
Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, saying, "We welcome this long overdue development." As for Tony Busby, he announced a 22nd woman coming forward to file a civil lawsuit and says other criminal complaints will follow. So far, all the lawsuits accuse Watson of sexual misconduct or sexual assault during private massage sessions. Realistically, Rowe says it could be months before we hear from law enforcement.
There's nothing simple about this many allegations. There's nothing simple about having a high-profile client who is, again, alleged to have committed some very serious allegations.
Allegations now in the hands of Houston police to find the truth.
Now, if you are a fan of the Redskins or Washington football team, whatever, they're always going to be the Redskins to me. But for the woke crowd, I say for the Washington football team, you remember intimately that Dwayne Haskins was dredged through the mud. He was the worst person in the world for going to a private party where there were strippers and videotaping, and then somebody took a picture of him and uploaded it onto the internet. This was after a loss, and he was a horrible quarterback. I mean, he sucked. He was horrible. And rightfully so. I was glad that we used it as a reason to get him out of town, because he broke COVID protocols. That's why I wanted him out of town. And for just being stupid enough to do this. I mean, after you lost a game that could have clinched us a playoff berth, you lose that game and then go to the strip club. Or go to a private party where there's strippers and pictures of you there end up on the internet. But he broke COVID protocol because he wasn't wearing a mask. And that led to a suspension and ultimately him being cut, which I fully endorse, and I'm thankful and I'm glad we got from under that kid. He's out of our hair. Salute to the Redskins for seizing that opportunity to get rid of this bum. But I will say that if he violated COVID protocols by going to a private party where there were strippers at without wearing a mask, then what do you call what Deshaun Watson did by interacting with dozens of massage therapists while the NFL was testing players every day? Players were being tested every single day. The teams are telling players not to go out. They're telling players to, if you make a mistake, you could cost the team, not because anybody's going to die or anything like that, because all these guys are very healthy, and of course no player, was even hospitalized with COVID, but just the fact that if you get it, like Cam Newton, you can't play, and you hurt the team. And all the guys, any guy who was around you in a meeting or walked past you in the hall or spotted you while you were lifting weights can't play either because of contact tracing. So during all this time, where the NFL's testing players every single day, they spent $100 million on tests. They did something like 900,000 tests, some crazy stuff on players and personnel. This guy's hiring random masseuses that he found on the internet or IG and getting massages from them. Now, the thing I'm saying is that, yes, if you have one masseuse that you work with all the time during a pandemic, it still that doesn't guarantee you anything, but it's a lot safer than just every week you got a different masseuse. And something's very intimate about a massage, the oils. Like, you don't know who she massaged last, how her oils are contaminated. You don't know how this, you know what I mean? You don't know. If she got any microscopic abrasions or cuts on her hand. You don't know anything about that. You're just bringing in some masseuse so you can live out some fantasy and then try to hit on her midway through the massage and get her give you a happy ending when really you can go to a happy ending joint like Robert Kraft. Now, he just was unlucky. Robert Kraft got to be the most unlucky guy in the world. He got busted. But 99.99999% of the time, if you go to a happy ending joint, you ain't gonna get, nobody gonna know about it. But he's doing licensed masseuses that literally are like really like trained to massage athletes to like, they're like basically doctors and whatnot. What they do is medical. These women are professionals. These women ain't coming over there trying to, they ain't all in all by a NFL player. You ain't the first player that they had. You ain't they done did soccer players. They done did people who fence, wrestlers, tennis players. They're not all by the fact that you're an athlete. But it's just crazy. I wonder if the NFL is going to go back and look at that. Like, once the dates and the and all the information comes out, and we find out that he was doing this during the 2020, preseason and the season. He was, frequently having interactions with massage therapists. And I'm sure he wasn't wearing masks during these things. I'm sure the women they're gonna ask the women, was he wearing a mask? I'm sure they're gonna ask the women, did Deshaun wear a mask? Did you wear a mask during the massage? They're gonna be like, nah, what do you mean? So I'm sure he violated the hell out of COVID protocols. And he put his team and he put his himself at risk. And it's just crazy that during the pandemic, you got all these women flying in and you getting massages from different women. It seemed like you would close ranks during that time, but not him. Okay, so you got the woke crowd on Twitter trying to make this a racial thing. So let's get into that. This guy from Black Sports Online, I think is very reputable. I actually like that. I use them in a lot of videos, but they still woke, whatever. This guy says, Colts Darius Leonard on ESPN killing Deshaun Watson with no proof. No proof. Only 22 women. No proof, just 22 women. Okay. Colts Darius Leonard on ESPN killing Deshaun Watson with no proof, but in his opinion was silent on Chad Wheeler, who admitted to trying to murder his black girlfriend. Let's just unpack that. Okay, let's unpack that. Chad Wheeler, a third string tackle for the Seattle Seahawks, who appeared in garbage time in I think 12 games or something last year. Like he was the guy that, once the game was over and it's time to take the starters out, he came in and just helped finish up the game. Once the game was out of reach. So their starting tackle wouldn't get hurt on a play in the last 2 minutes of the game, like just a meaningless play. And Chad Wheeler was not signed when he did this. When he did this, Chad Wheeler's contract expired at the end of the season. So at the time that this came out about him and his ex-girlfriend, he was not signed. To compare him to the next coming, I'm talking about Deshaun Watson is not. You got to understand, Deshaun Watson is not the next coming of the great black quarterback. He's the next coming of the great quarterback regardless of race. Like, he throws for he completes 70% of his passes. And we know that's something that black quarterbacks struggle with, man. Read defenses, man. Let's be honest. Hit one. Let's be honest. black quarterbacks struggle with reading defenses. Not all of them, and not all white quarterbacks can read defenses. But more often than not, the black quarterback, the thing that will hold a black quarterback is his inability to read defenses. To, that first read, the player who he's supposed to hit the ball first, if he's checked, that black quarterback's running. Whereas a lot of the good white quarterbacks, not the ones that suck, of course, because that's the reason that the white quarterbacks suck, because a lot of them can't run, and if they can't read defenses, they just horrible. So if a lot of black quarterbacks can make it in the league not being able to read defenses, because if that first guy's not open, they can just run. But Deshaun Watson is different because he can read defenses. And he can throw for a high percentage. Rarely will you find a black quarterback that throws for a high percentage. Black quarterbacks usually throw for they complete a low percentage of their passes. They're not accurate. Deshaun Watson is very accurate. He's in Drew Brees' category. And he can run like Mike Vick and all them other guys. Okay? Lamar Jackson. He can do all that stuff. So he's basically Drew Brees and Lamar Jackson had a baby. Okay? So to compare him to a third string tackle for the Seattle Seahawks, who was not even under contract once the season ended because, he sucked, is a little bit disingenuous. Deshaun Watson literally is probably the second or third best quarter. I say fourth. You got Brady, you got Aaron Rodgers, and you got Patrick Mahomes. Then comes Deshaun. That's how good he is. He's behind Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and then it's Deshaun. So you're talking about somebody who's really, 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 really good. And I'll put Russell 4B. Because Russell's not as fast as Deshaun, and Russell's not as accurate, but Russell's pretty accurate. I put Russell Wilson right there with Deshaun. That's how good he is. He's either a tad bit better or a tad bit worse than Russell Wilson. And that's damn good. So to compare the media coverage of his 22 allegations of sexual assault, which the media is completely ignoring. They rarely are talking about it. They're only talking about it when they have to. When new allegations, they're like, today 3 more women, and then a couple days later they'll be like 4 more women came out. They're not talking. It's not round the clock coverage of this on any sports channel. Stop that. But let's just stop that dumb narrative that like it's supposed that even though the media is not covering the Deshaun Watson situation, any little coverage they do is wrong because they didn't cover Chad Wheeler situation. I guess more. I don't understand because they didn't cover the Chad Wheeler situation. You're right, but they're not covering Deshaun Watson and every other day. Like, this would be like if Chad Wheeler's girlfriend said what happened. And then a few days later, another girl said, well, he did that to me. And then a few days later, another girl said he did that to me. And then a few days later, another girl said he did that to me. That's the only comparable thing. And this was, with Chad Wheeler was one incident. Deshaun is like every other day. 3 more women coming out. Then 3 more women. Then it's like, and they're still not covering it, so I don't even know what anybody's complaining about. And Jamel Hill, she says, some guy came at Jamel Hill, said, "I'm really glad to see you finally commenting on Deshaun Watson in this news. I mean, it only took 15 different women, but hey, you're here." And Jamel Hill responded and said, "Just say you don't care about women. The only reason you're bothering me is because Deshaun Watson is black." So Jamel Hill, who literally said, let's keep it a buck, black men are the white people of the black community. She said that. Black men are the white people of the black community, meaning that black men oppress other black, like black LGBT people, black women, black children, black men. We do bad things to other groups of black people, which is true. I would say that any male group is if you want to say white people, which is very racist, like, just think about how racist that is. You're the white people of black people. Like, think about how racist that is. God, could you imagine if a white woman said, white men are the black people of the white white. But listen, whatever. So it's cool for her to coon. She can coon when she wants to. When she feel like cooning, it's cool. When she feel like criticizing the black community, it's cool. But the only thing is, you gotta watch your mouth. You better watch your step. Yeah. So she went woke on this, and this is another popular narrative. I call it the Deshaun Watson was going by NBC narrative. This guy says, "I love how none of the sports analysts are even one bit suspicious about Deshaun Watson allegations and their connections to the Texans franchise after he requested a trade. Black men don't have nobody for real. It's clear as day." So they try to say that the Texans set all this up, that, the Texans went and found a bunch of massage therapists and got them to say that Deshaun Watson sexually assaulted them, so that Deshaun Watson, who was requesting a trade, and was trying to force his way out of Texas so they could, mess up his trade value and make other teams not want him. So he'd have to stay in Houston. But here's the problem with that. So now if he stays in Houston, right, he's going to be on the commissioner's exempt list, man. They investigating this criminally now, man. He's not playing next year. So unless they're trying to say, well, they're trying to punish him. But listen, this brother did what he did, man. Obviously, man. Obviously. If you want to play the spooky conspiracy thing, Deshaun Watson's lawyer, Rusty Hardin, just came out with 18 massage therapists who he says gave Deshaun Watson a massage, and everything was on the up and up. He was a perfect gentleman. He didn't try anything with them. So let's take that. Those 18 masseuses that Deshaun Watson has produced. So say, man, he's a great client. Came in, everything was on the up and up, did the massage and left. Didn't notice anything. How do we know that that Massage Watson, Deshaun Watson, how do we know that Deshaun Watson didn't pay them women to say that? Since everything a goddamn conspiracy, how do we know that Deshaun Watson didn't pay them women? How do we know that? We don't. But everything's a goddamn conspiracy until it isn't. This guy says, prayers go out to my brother Deshaun Watson. No distractions. Keep your head to the sky. No matter what they say, you are a born leader, a good son, and an even better brother. The game needs you, and so does the black community. So wait a second. The black community needs a guy who's hiring, many of these masseuses were black. So, who's hiring black professional massage therapists in some cases, because a lot of them were Arabs and Latinos. But the black community needs a guy who would hire a black woman who's trained professional at her job, and then to come do her job, and when she comes to do her job, he whips out on her and tries to get her to do some hanky-panky in the middle of doing her job. That's what the black community needs. Okay. And this is a little bit old, but this guy says, but not one reported to the police, one of the massage therapists. But he goes on to say, the shit black athletes have to go through. I'm praying for you, brother. The shit black athletes have to go through. Now, listen, the majority of the guys in the NFL are good guys. I'll give you that. Okay, here's the NFL database that shows the players that were arrested. So, stop me when you see a white player or a player that's not black on this list. This is the issue. Okay? Stop me when you see a player. So Chad Wheeler, he's the last white player. We know he was arrested on January 23rd. But before that, let's find a white player on this list. Julian Edelman. Okay, so we had to go back to January. So January 11th of 2020. So you had a white player arrested on January 23rd of this year, and a white player arrested on January 11th of last year. Now you see, it's not a lot of the players. It's like 15,000 players in the NFL, and 70% of them are black. But what I'm saying is, like, the reason that, you know, it's always that you see a black player in the NFL, when it's the news, you see a black player getting arrested, is because always a black player getting arrested. Okay, Patrick Chung right here. He got arrested. He got caught with some coke. He's half Asian and black. His mom is Asian. Yeah, man. So the reason it's always a brother is because it's always a brother. Okay? It just is what it is. Kyle Laluleta. Okay, so Kyle Laluleta, he was arrested in 2018. So we got 3 white players in the last 4 years. It just is what it is, man. Like, God dog, man. Get in the comment section. Like, subscribe, donate. Peace. I'm out.